the Trevor Jackson podcast.
Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's popping with the family? If you're new here, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button. We talk about the culture. We have political conversations. We have a ton of conversations over here on Trevor Jackson TV, and salute to everybody for tuning in, tapping in with the show. But, you know, we got to talk about the video that was released of Pooh Shiesty doing what he was doing to Gucci, man. It was interesting. We also got to talk about Lil Wayne, his Verzuz claim. He was saying on Hot New Hip Hop and on somebody's platform that can't nobody fade him in a Verzuz. We got to talk about that. Floyd Mayweather just had a conversation about Cam and everybody in his finances and stuff. You know, people be always having something to say, praying on people's downfall. Real talk. But before we get into the conversation, you know how we do over here on Trevor Jackson TV. We create the vibes and play the music. Let's get to it.
It was all good just a week ago.
Last week I had everything. Had it all.
Good just a week ago.
I had the money, had the cars, the
It was all good
and
just
the
a week
jewelry.
ago.
And then my mother started snitching.
Yeah. Growing up in the hood, just my dog and me. We used to hustle in the hood for all to see. Problems, I called on him, he called on me. We wasn't quite partners, I hit him off my P. Let him unlock doors, off my keys. Yeah, we spoke, much more than cordially. Man, he broke bread with me, my business spread swiftly. The feds came to get me, we both fled quickly. Wasn't quick enough to jump over the hedges with me. Got caught, and that's when our relationship strained. Used to call me from the joint till he ran out of change. And when he called collect and I heard his name, I quickly accepted. But when I reached the phone, he's talking reckless. I could sense deceit in his tone. I said, damn dog, what, 9 weeks in your home? He said, man, you think it's sweet cause you're home. I just spat, no more speech in the phone. The crackers up there bleaching your dome, you reach it. I said the world don't stop, I got to keep on. From there I sensed the beef was on. I ran to the spy store to add some more features on my phone, to see if I had bugs and leeches on my phone. Can't be too safe cause niggas is two-faced, and they show the other side when they catch a new case. It's on.
Cool when you had hella weed to smoke and you bought a new home where you could keep your folks. I don't see how this side of you could be provoked.
It was all good just a week ago. Funny what? 7 days can change. I stand up, now you sit down to aim.
Hope y'all had a great 4th of July. You know, it's America's 250th birthday. But they say that day, you know, ain't for black people. That's independence for another race. They say we supposed to celebrate our independence on Juneteenth. But, you know, I'm American, man. You know, all of these pagan holidays and this day and that day, I celebrate all of them just because I'm a happy person at the end of the day. But let's keep the vibes going before we get into the conversation. Let's go.
Catch up, niggas. Damn, you fading them hoes. How you gave them that? Or the Marvin came with the alligator strap. Sick of your niggas with your now and later raps. Rap about it now, hope you get it later. Do a couple shows, hope you niggas are saving up. I show you how to do this, son. But this particular watch be a 1-of-1. That means none before it, none to come. The homie that's rapping be the only one that has it. I show you how to do this, son. You ain't heard I push the 6 when the 5s is out. You can't fight me in the Porsche, I box you out. I show you how to do this, son. We don't drive X5s, we give them the baby mamas. Push the big top that's shaped like a Kansas chicken snack box. I get it cracking when I'm backing out the garage. The 360 drop for raw, shut down Manhattan. Bucket low like fuck it though. Nights on, daytime, lights on. Hell yeah, I'm frontin', but you love it though. I show you how to do this, son. Nigga, I'm a check writer, your royalty receivers. Y'all eating off per diem on the low like a Caesar. Pay your taxes, y'all niggas hustling backwards. I cop and crash whips, Jay is a bastard. I show you how to do this, son. How you want it? My jeans is 300. These ain't diesel, nigga, these is a diesel. Top is rock, you know the rest. A big bucket of frozen water on my chest. Get a crate, some crackers, some house slippers, a newspaper, look out boy and get your chips up. Or get a gun, a mask, and a skate route. Some duct tape or make them take you to the house. Say, Ma, don't give him nothing unless he's treating you special. Soon he get desperate and go down and bless you. And when he come up in air with a mouth full of hair, just grab your coach bag and get the fuck out of there. Yeah.
The Trevor Jackson Podcast.
Oh, we got a dope show today. We got a few conversations we gotta have. Real talk. You know, me as an artist myself, a person who has been creating music for a while, you know, a long time, a couple of decades at that. Me looking at the landscape of people that's creating podcasts and becoming journalists and stuff, you know, I commend Joe Budden. You know, I like what Fat Joe and Jadakiss is doing over there, you know, with Rock Nation, and they got their podcasts on Netflix and stuff. Let me give them a round of applause also. You know, I like what Memphis Bleak is doing up under Drink Champs and Noriega. I like seeing people transition into the podcast game and into the journalist game. It's just a beautiful thing, real talk. Let me give them brothers a round of applause too. But somebody that is doing a damn good job right now, he has been on First Take as of recently, Cameron. You know, his It Is What It Is platform is thriving. Him and Mace, his own Talk with Flea show over there at Revolt, he popping. I ain't even gonna cap to you. His transition has been great. Watching Cameron evolve into the talk space, you know, sector. I like what Jim Jones and them and all them boys doing too. But we celebrating Cam right now. And he just had this conversation with Floyd Mayweather. We about to check it out, and I'm going to give a little bit of commentary to it. Let's go.
So a lot of people are saying you're doing this just cause of the money. Is it just cause money, or just what you want to do?
Well, as you know, I mean, nobody has taken none of my properties away from me.
Right.
So I still got all my houses. I still got everything. My mother, and my whole family, they bills still paid.
Right.
I still pay all my employees.
So the truth. One more question. I want to let you finish.
Oh yeah, you're talking about the paper.
No.
Let's go back to the paper.
Right.
You know, I was thinking about something. Right.
Yep. You doing better than great.
And a lot of times. No, hold on. Let me film it. Okay, so check this out.
Yep.
Now, when you really think about this, right? We got our people, meaning the black community.
Yep.
These people have been paying money for years to come see me fight.
Yep.
These people will put equity out of their house, bet their life savings, and they bet it on Floyd because I prove that I'm 100% when I get in that ring.
Right.
Okay, so they bet their life savings on Floyd Mayweather every time because they believe in me, right? And they rooting because they want to see me win. And then after they go home and they got everything they want, they praying on my downfall.
Facts.
They praying on my downfall. So, yeah, we don't want to see Floyd with nothing.
Right.
And so, I mean, and in due time, you know, a lot of times they say, oh, it's this lawsuit, it's that lawsuit. One thing about me, whoever I get involved with, as far as with business, I get myself out of the situation.
Okay.
You know, one thing we're not going to do is go out there and go point fingers. Oh, this person got me in that. As a man, you know, if me and you doing business and things don't go right, and if me and you sit down and communicate and try to iron things out, if we can't iron things out, then it's best that we go our separate ways. It's just like a divorce.
Right.
You know, and if a man and a woman been married, just say 30 years.
Yeah.
It's going to take a lot of unraveling. Right. So even like, you know, when they talking about these different cases, oh, it's this, it's that. One thing about it, it's not me.
Okay.
It's not me.
Right.
But one thing I'm not, you know, I'm the main face.
Yes, sir.
I'm the biggest name.
Absolutely.
So with me being the main face and the biggest name, who they gonna point your finger at?
You.
Okay.
There you go.
So it's no different from when you hear stuff like a jeweler. They told me that a jeweler, because remember I ain't got social media on my phone.
Right.
You know, I'm too focused on like I said, building generational wealth. Just like a lot of time, you know, I be jumping subjects, but just like when people oh, why Floyd doing this? Why Floyd doing that? Man, listen, I'm not in nobody else's business. One thing.
You know, turn the jazz down a little bit. You know, when Floyd Mayweather had that robe over there in Israel a couple of months ago, and he was the self-proclaimed voice of the Jewish people, when y'all don't have a voice, just come to Floyd Mayweather and I'll be your voice. I knew something spooky was going on. And you know, I don't know if he owed a debt nothing like that, but I just knew something spooky was going on. He said that his best friend was partially his business manager. And then a month after that, you know, he was in the news that he was suing his best friend. What's his name? Noah or something like that for $170 million. It's none of my business because, you know, I ain't going to buy Floyd Mayweather a sandwich. He ain't going to buy me a sandwich. You know, people, we ain't looking out for each other's best interests, but I want to be the voice to speak about topics in an objective way. I rooted for Floyd Mayweather a ton of times. I feel like he's the greatest boxer of all time. I feel like he went into that situation with those people over there with intentions that was pure. He was thinking that it was going to help him evolve his finances. But then he gets to speaking, talking about our people look down on me and they spend their money and take equity out of their homes just to see him lose. You know, people that look like me and you, Floyd, they was rooting for you, big dog. I think it was the other ethnicities that was wanting to see you lose. I remember going to them bars and stuff when you was fighting Pac-Man, and it was like a racial tension in them bars because these folks over here that was a part of the nationality of the people you was fighting was against you, and all the people that looked like you was for you. So that was interesting to see that you was the voice of those people, but you speaking bad on your own. You counseling fights. It got interesting. People talk bad about you and want to see you fall and your downfall and stuff like that. You know, I'm rooting for you, big dog. I don't want to see you lose. I don't want to see you fail. It's just interesting that you got with Cameron to have this conversation. Let him continue on.
The thing about me, I stay in my own business. Right. So the thing is like this: if I was taking punishment throughout my career and I couldn't walk or talk, I couldn't articulate well, then I'd be like, yo, fuck that. Right. But as far as me going out, having fun, entertaining, being in control, doing exhibitions, keeping my body in shape, let me do what I want to do. I don't pocket watch no. I don't know what nobody doing. Right. And then it was so crazy that they was talking about one time I seen them. They told me I guess when I went to a game, you know, I didn't have season tickets for somewhere close to 30 years. Right. Watching the Lakers and the Clippers. And every time I pay the people, I pay in cash. Having cash is a part of our culture. That's what we rap about.
You know what he talking about the cash segment when he went viral for having all of that cash sitting next to Jay-Z. What I hear is a man who is filthy rich and his problems isn't the average person's problems. He's still gonna be successful. But you know, one thing I want to say in closing to this before I move along in the conversation is that Floyd, you know, just being honest with you, big dog, you bigger than the internet chatter. Sometimes you got to let those folks just be in their lane or do whatever they do. I know that people prioritize the internet. I was just watching an interview of Chingy talking about losing deals because of the perception on the internet that he was dealing with, you know, transsexual individuals. Sometimes you got to clear that noise and that chatter up, because if the lie is entertaining, something that Charlamagne the God say all the time, if the lie is entertaining, the truth don't matter to the people. You being broke is entertaining to people. You know, they don't really care what the truth is. I don't feel like you broke. I feel like some things has happened that people are talking about on the internet, but you know, it is what it is, big dog. Real talk. Let's get into this next conversation, man. You know, I got to pull up the article I want to read to y'all. Lil Wayne, you know, Lil Wayne, I've been kind of harsh on Lil Wayne. The culture has been harsh on Lil Wayne as of recently also, because, you know, he didn't participate in the Verzuz with Cash Money. You know, he was complaining about not getting the opportunity to perform in the Super Bowl. It looked like a lot of people was bashing Wayne. His dreads and shit falling out, all type of stuff going on with Wayne. Carter 6 didn't live up to the hype that people was expecting, the quality from him. The best song on there was featuring Big X the Plug. You know, Wayne is in unfamiliar territory, and I feel like he has contributed to the game in ways that a lot of artists will never be able to. Let's read this article. This is according to Hot New Hip Hop. So during a conversation with DJ Drama, Lil Wayne offered an explanation for why he would never do a versus battle. While his last couple of albums have missed the mark, there is no denying that Lil Wayne is one of the greatest rappers ever. Overall, he is responsible for some massive hits and iconic songs. Furthermore, his technical skills makes him among some of the most proficient rappers to pick up a mic. For years, fans have been holding out hope that he would do a versus battle. There are plenty of elite MCs he could go up against and win. Ever since the creation of Verzuz in 2020, the speculation and anticipation have been endless. However, Wayne has remained on the sidelines. Today, DJ Drama released his entire Gangsta Grillz podcast interview with Wayne, which was conducted back in 2023. During the conversation, the two spoke about whether or not Wayne would ever do a versus. Wayne was quick to say no and offered an interesting reason. That's, for this to be released in 2023, recorded in 2023 and released in 2026, and him still not doing a versus is saying that he is standing true with his word. Let's get into it, man. Here's a video clip.
Yeah. Your name has come up in versus conversations at various times.
Yeah, I heard about that. I told you, only thing I thought made sense if I was being involved in it would be, either or album Wayne versus mixtape Wayne, album Wayne or mixtape Wayne versus feature Wayne or something like that, So I got too much material. Wayne versus Wayne, because, it's not that there's no artist that can stand. It's just that I'm too competitive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and I wouldn't want to embarrass no one. And if I am competing against whoever I'm competing against, I will embarrass you. I don't want to embarrass no one.
Yeah, that'd be kind of scary.
And this thing that we do, this music thing, man, you can, if it's the wrong type of situation on that versus, you can end their careers. You know what I mean? You can end their careers, and that's what I would do. And who wants to do that? I don't want to be that guy. Yeah, so I end Lil Wayne, the feature Wayne career, and with the album Wayne.
I heard enough. It's interesting to hear Lil Wayne speak like that, because this is before he got denied the appearance to be at the Super Bowl. This is before the fallout and how he feels about certain artists that is not speaking highly of him no more. Wayne has contributed a lot to the culture, but in closing, I want to say this. That nigga ain't never ended nobody's career. I don't even think he is the type of rapper that could get into a beef with somebody and annihilate somebody in a beef. The songs, his most prolific songs, are old. I could name a ton of rappers that would smoke Lil Wayne in a versus, but I'm not going to be disrespectful. I'm going to continue to move along in the conversation because Wayne is one of the greats. But before I move along in the conversation and we get into some of the educational topics, I want to play my single that I released, Friday, man. Have y'all went and checked it out yet? Y'all got to go check it out. It's titled Success. We about to get into it right now. Let's go.
We able to do these things, have things, and and even with all of this, if I could bring a certain person or some certain people back to this world from the afterlife, I would give all this shit up to do it, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, hey man, you know what I'm saying? We can't take this shit with us.
Ownership and percentage is the language I speak. I don't hustle for a check, I build positions that peak. Don't compete with my dogs, I want us all to eat. Got the mindset of a god while you move like a fraud. They was trying to knock the hustle, I was doing my job. Nothing's out of my reach, even against all odds. Turn a vision to equity, now it's paying me back. Every move calculated, I don't play with the stacks. They was chasing the shine, beautiful day, riding over the Golden Gate. Yeah, I'm having my way. From the curb to the coast, now the view's panoramic. Used to hustle for survival, now it's wealth I'm demanding. Every dollar got a purpose, I ain't spending it random. Turn my pain into leverage, now the growth exponential. Told my dogs, think bigger, we ain't stuck in the grind. It's ownership over optics, we investing in time. What success mean to you? It don't mean that for me. And when it comes to the millions, it ain't what it seems. What success mean to you? It don't mean that for me. You want clout, I see freedom, we don't see the same things. What success mean to you? It don't mean that for me. And when it comes to the millions, it ain't what it seems. What success mean to you? It don't mean that for me. You want clout, I see freedom, we don't see the same things.
The Trevor Jackson Podcast.
I ain't gonna play the whole record. I gotta go check that out for yourself. I want to thank the people who purchased the pre-orders. We did 20 pre-order sales. You know, being independent and having people still purchase your music is something that I appreciate, man. Salute to y'all. Thank you so much. You know, I put it out there that the single was going to drop 2 weeks ahead of time. And, you know, a few individuals went out there and purchased the single. Thank you so much. I got to move along. You know, I titled the podcast this, talking about the Pooh Shiesty video that was released. I don't know who released the video. When the feds get involved in stuff, I ain't never seen video release, but I want to approach this differently than how I see other people on the internet approaching it. But before I approach it, I want to play the clip for those who ain't seen it.
This shit, shit. You dropping this done deal. Bro, let them know it's a done deal, bro. It's a done deal. Let them know you dropping me, I drop you. No, say it. Who should I say dropping 10-17? Shout out to real nigga ain't never did no police shit or none of that, bro. Tell them what's going on. Bro, we just did that. That's done. What you do? You drop. You said you want to be dropped. You drop. You signed the paper. I signed the paper. It's done.
Filming a robbery is one thing. You know, forcefully having somebody sign a contract to release you out of something that you initially agreed to shows me that you ain't taking accountability for the root of the problem, what you agreed to. Also, filming it lets me know that somebody needed proof that you was out of your contract and they wanted to see you before they move forward. Who could that be? I ain't gonna put it on nobody, but hey, we know he was trying to go to a different location and become signed to that crew, you know, and be a part of that record label. So at the end of the day, it's interesting that it needed to be filmed. Man, you know, I know it's a lot of people that's going to take sides with Pooh Shiesty, the youth. Folks my age, because I'm the same age as Gucci, man, sees this as something that is irresponsible, ignorant, and foolishness. And his father was involved. His father ain't no OG. OGs do not lead you down a path of destruction. He led his son, who was a multi-million-dollar individual who could have achieved far much greater success, down a path of ignorance. And a lot of you young niggas is following them type of niggas because y'all see what's going on in the streets and y'all think that shit cool. The youth is going to be like, why did Gucci Man put Pooh Shiesty in a bad deal? This supposed to be real niggas and he's supposed to be real and we standing on street business. Let me tell y'all something. When business is involved, ain't nobody real. You got to look out for your best interest first. Every rapper that's become successful, I heard him complain about the contract. I ain't never not heard a nigga complain about the contract. At the end of the day, Pooh Shiesty agreed to what he got himself involved in. Then he tried to forcefully get himself out of some business on some gangster shit. Let me play this clip that was previously recorded during COVID when Pooh Shiesty was on the Breakfast Club and what he had to say about the options of him signing the deal, why he didn't choose Paper Route Empire, or why he didn't choose CMG with Yo Gotti, why he chose Yo Gotti, and then we're going to further along in the conversation.
Now, with you being from Memphis, did Dolph or Gotti reach out since they both from the same area?
Yeah, for sure.
But you never wanted to sign with them, or they just never offered a deal, or it just wasn't the right situation?
Man, it just, like, I ain't gonna lie, I ain't never wanted to sign to nobody. It's just my mentality. And you know, in the city, it's like you gotta sign to either one of them. You gotta be Paper Route or CMG. But so before WAP came out, I'm still Chopper Gang. This is my label. So I wanted to be like, why you can't be signed to Chopper Gang, CMG, or Paper Route? Then WAP came, boom, perfect sense, you know.
Gotcha.
Fine. Middle of the night, one day, he texted me on Instagram.
Did you believe it, or did you think it was a lie?
I couldn't believe that shit.
How old were you then? Because you're only 20 now, right?
Yeah, I'm 21 now. I was 20.
Okay. Oh, that was last year?
Yeah.
So he just sent you a DM?
Yeah, he texted me. He said, "What's up, Holmes?" I couldn't believe it. I grabbed my phone, get up. I pushed somebody up on me. I said, hold on, hell no, this shit ain't real. Text him back. I say, "What's chopping?" He text back. Right then and there, like he was on it. He was waiting on me to text back. He was like, "I'm fucking with your music, huh? Who you doing this shit with?" I put my clothes on, shoot to Pop's house. Then my manager, I wake his ass. I said, "Wake up, bro, look." I showed him, he couldn't believe he get the sweat. Man, he said, right then and there though, while I'm showing him, he text back. He said, "This my number, FaceTime me." I FaceTime him right there. We was on FaceTime for like 6 hours.
Word.
It was already like 3 in the morning though. He just sitting up, we just on FaceTime. But I'm gonna tell you what song he heard for sure. Mind Slime. Yep. Mind Slime did it for him, and that was the only song he heard.
You know, an opportunity in life comes far and few. What I want to say in closing to this clip and this conversation is that, you know, Gucci Mane gave that brother opportunity. And in business, you got to separate certain things. You got to separate being street. You know, they say separate church and state in politics. They say separate a lot of things. Everything is its own entity, and you got to move accordingly to whatever that is. His own people didn't give him an opportunity, and Gucci Mane did, called him. A lot of people was wishing and praying for that opportunity. Even though I know, you know, when you look at Gucci Mane's record label, everybody probably that ever signed to him is disgruntled with him, except OJ the Juice Man, Waka Flocka, that enchanting girl died, Big Scar, his cousin. I done heard all the stories of him not looking out for Big Scar like how Pooh Shiesty would have wanted him to. Pooh Shiesty robbing the man. It's just, you know, you agreed to what was written down in that contract. Did y'all read it? Your father let you agree to it. They was excited to make you become part of that. You know, I done had contracts put in my face before that I've turned down that could have gave me opportunities to be popular. But I felt like, you know, what I was creating was more valuable than that. And I never wanted to be the nigga that was popular and broke at the same time. So looking at this situation, man, I just want to tell the youth something that, you know, man, that violent shit, it may be temporarily cool and you may be getting attention from it, but reacting with ignorance and stuff, man, just enhance your intelligence, get smarter, and do what's in yours and your family best interests. I just seen a post before I hit record on this podcast that Pooh Shiesty is expecting a child. You know what I'm saying? That nigga might be about to do a life sentence. But, you know, I don't wish that on no one. It's just that I wanted to talk about this incident, you know, to give information to the youth. Real talk. And I hope y'all received something that was entertained at the same time. Let's move along in the conversation. I got a couple of more topics, and then I'm going to get up off of this thing. I got the baby goat in here with me. Easy, man. We about to kick the shit and have some fun. I hope y'all enjoying y'all 4th of July weekend. And, you know, y'all living life, getting on the grill, popping some fireworks or doing whatever you're doing with family and just kicking it, man. Real talk. This conversation I wanted to get into was T.I. He recently sat down with Terrence J, and I'm supposed to be doing an interview with Terrence J. That's the only reason I tuned in is because me and Terrence J supposed to be linking up and doing a interview about some music, man. And I'm thankful that he can make the time to do it. But let's get into this, though. Real talk.
Career when I made the decision to name myself the King of the South. I didn't want to disrespect any of my predecessors, anybody that I grew up, you know, admiring and listening to. So I asked all of them, at least all the ones I had access to. I asked Outkast, Goody Mob, 8 Ball and MJG, UGK, Scarface. I asked them all.
Oh, that's an extensive...
Yeah. Everybody was very, like, supportive. Like, oh, okay, yeah. And they supported it because, one, what they believed of my character, and two, what they believed of my ability in the booth, on the mic. But, you know, there were lessons. Like Andre 3000, you know, he said, well, what does it really mean to be king?
That sounds like an Andre 3000.
Scarface say, man, you can have that shit. I don't want it,
Yeah.
you know? And so everybody gave me some game. But I never forget Big Boy. He said, yeah, you could do that shit, man, but you know what I'm saying? Well, you better not be looking for no favors because you're going to put a big bullseye on your back. Ain't nobody going to be trying to help you because, you know, chess, that's the game of life. And the name of the game in chess is to kill the king. And so I say, but you okay with it though, right?
Yeah, as long as you good.
Yeah. So I knew then at that moment when he said that my final album would be titled Kill the King.
Hey, I suggest everybody go check out T.I.'s new album. I've heard that story a multitude of times, and the people who he went to get vouched for to be named the King of the South is all of the legit people in the South if you want some validation for anything. Scarface, 8 Ball, UGK, Outkast. You know, T.I. is one of those individuals now. But what I want to say that, you know, I have lived with the album for a while now. And, you know, I feel like it's age appropriate. I know T.I. said that this is his last album, To Kill the King. You know, I done been to the Trap Museum. I done been to his restaurants, and I've supported T.I. along the way. Even my debut album was released the same day as his debut album, I'm serious. So aging in hip-hop is an interesting thing. And to hear so many brothers talking about that they want to retire from the industry and stuff is also interesting. But I feel like artists can age gracefully and still be capable of creating instead of always announcing retiring to get some traction to your new project, knowing your whole ass gonna come back out with another album in the next 5-10 years. Stop it. I ain't seen nobody retired like completely except Joe Budden. He's the only person that put the pen down, and he needed to be honest with you, because them dang on songs, they wasn't hitting like that. But T.I., you know, To Kill the King is a phenomenal record. And, you know, I wonder what is y'all thoughts on the album. What's your favorite song? Let's talk about it. Let's further the discussion in the comment section below. Now, we're going to get into another clip from this interview, him talking about trap music. You know, they say he's the creator of trap music, but after I play the clip, I'm going to give y'all another, you know, idea so I can get y'all thoughts about this.
Well, at this point, I think, man, it's such a blessing that it has evolved because it all starts, trap music started just with me sharing my experiences from as my teenage years. I was entering into this new world, this new industry, something I'd prayed for, something I'd strived for, hoped for. And in this new world, I took advantage of the opportunity to kind of showcase and shed light on the world I was coming from. And that's what lit the spark for trap music. The reception of it, because everybody in the country, at least I'll say, was going through, you know, how they were dealing with the crack era, how they were dealing with the war on drugs. And it made it resonate. It made people be able to relate to it in such a different, more impactful way. And after the reception of trap music, then it kind of let people know, oh, okay, there is a market for this. Yeah. So then you had people like Jeezy, Yo Gotti, Boosie, you know what I mean? So many others that offered their installations, you know what I'm saying? And sharing their experiences, which connected with even more people. Mm-hmm. And now you got people like Future, Young Thug, 21 Savage. You got all of them that's allowing it to broaden even more. So it's a blessing to be a part of something that's meant so much to so many people.
You know, everybody thinks that T.I. is the creator of trap music. You know, I may be too in tune, but I give that credit to Ghetto Mafia. I heard Wicked and them talking about trap years before T.I., Goody Mob and them boys. And not to take away from T.I. because I like him a lot, but it's just the facts of the matter. You know, they say that New York City created hip hop. I'm using this analogy because I'm about to tell y'all something. You know, I feel like T.I. popularized trap music. Ghetto Mafia and Goody Mob created the terminology. New York City popularized and monetized hip hop. But in the South, where them people who migrated from the South and went up to New York City, niggas was doing that shit for free in the parks and in the playgrounds, rapping, you know, doing graffiti and just jamming out and, you know, the dancing and all of that old type of stuff. That was created in the parks in the South. And they popularized it and monetized it in New York. Now, you know, I'm a consumer of trap music. I'm a creator of trap music. But what I want to say is that he giving credit to certain individuals that has created and popularized user music. They need to create a different terminology for what Future and Thug and them boys doing. Just because they from Atlanta doesn't mean that that is get some money, hustle, and trap music. I think trap music has died off since the Gucci and the Jeezy and T.I. era. It ain't too many rappers that's talking about hustling, coming up, laying down the blueprint to obtain finances from the street life. Nowadays, these artists is talking about using the substance. And that's like pimping and hoeing. You know, it went from getting money and using the females to get some money to now we got hot dang on Young Miami talking about spin that shit. And you got niggas running around here twerking and shit to that. Spin that shit. Spin. The song of the summer is an anthem for tricks. It's just a different ball game out here in the game right now. I got two more topics I want to discuss. And it got something to do with spin that shit. And we're going to go ahead and get into it though, man. Because India Arie is an artist who makes uplifting music. You know, I remember her from I Am Not My Hair and just empowering black people music. And she spoke on the Young Miami Spin That Shit song. But the only reason she spoke on it is because they remixed it to one of her beats. And I haven't even heard what she had to say, but I seen the tweets and stuff, the responses and that. We're going to get into the clip and I'm going to give my perspective. And I'm going to play a few reactions to what was being said.
Oh boy. Hello, hello. Hey, hello, hello. That's the Erykah Badu version, by the way. Hello, hello. Hey, hello, hello. Hello, hello. Okay. I have marks from my glasses. My third album, Testimony Volume 1, Life and Relationship, turned 20 years old on Friday the 27th. it snuck up on me. Somebody had to tell me. And so that's why I'm making a video right now instead of writing about this on my Substack, which if you know me, you know I like writing on my Substack. And you don't need to see that bowl back there. Okay. And I've been in the blogs a couple times this last week. And so I wanted to come and talk about these things. Let's talk about the easy one first. It is being wrongly reported that I think we should boycott this song of the summer. I'm not going to tell you what it is because I refuse to sing that song, but either you know what it is or you don't. And if you don't, you can go find it. It's very easy. But I don't think we should boycott. What I want is to see people understand the power of words and music and to make choices that are healthy for them. That's what I want. Do I think it matters what I want for people? No. I have finally learned that it doesn't matter and that there's no amount of sacrificing my life force energy that is going to make anybody want anything better for themselves. All I can do is emanate what I emanate, stand for what I stand for, and hope that it reaches who it's meant to reach. And that's it. And that's all I'm going to do. And so my comment makes it very clear that I don't think we should boycott. My comment is tantamount to everybody doesn't want the same thing. And there are a lot of people who are saying it's just a song. Well, if that's what you think, enjoy. But what I know is that music has power. But of course, I have used that power to help some people. And I have traveled around this world twice. And I see the impact of what we export out of the Black American experience to the rest of the world. Longer story for another time, but I've seen it, so I know. And I'm telling you what it is, but you enjoy if that's what you want to do. And I will enjoy doing what I want to do. And that's why I don't think anybody needs to boycott. I think people just need to make choices for themselves. That's what I think.
Listen. You know, I have indulged in hip hop since the early 90s, I would say 90, 91. From the NWA, Fuck the Police, to, Brother Lynch Hung in the early 90s where he's talking about being I can't even say it. It was so brutal what he was talking about, harming children on songs, talking about eating, you know what I'm saying, all kind of crazy stuff. This Spin That Shit song, I can't deny when she premiered it on Joe and Jada's podcast, I knew it was a hit from the simplistic nature of it and for the times that we're living in, because art imitates life. You know, she's in Miami where tricking is a real thing. OnlyFans culture is a real thing. Selling is a real thing. So art imitates life. Just a couple of months ago, wasn't she getting counseled for talking about allowing Diddy to pee on her and being the drug mule and all of this? Now niggas celebrating her because she created a hit. So y'all forgot or y'all just don't give a damn because the song jamming? As I age, I realize the things that I participated in and the things that I consume has had an impact on my life. You know, I can control what I consume now for educational purposes. You know, if I'm in the club, I probably would want to hear Spin That Shit, but I ain't spending a dime. But I don't go to the club neither. At the end of the day. So listening to India Irie speak, it makes me think about the impact of our voices as Black people and how influential we are on the world. Not America, not your region. The whole world is emulating American Black people. And they are monetizing what we do. It's folks in China and Japan listening to 50 Cent drinking Hennessy because they see niggas doing it on YouTube and videos. You got people in London claiming to be Bloods and Crips because what they see in Los Angeles. With people sagging their pants and doing all of this type of stuff. They dressing like us and wanting to be like us, and they wanting to create and rap and do everything that we do. So tricking is going to become a global thing. Should that song be canceled? No, because that's a reality. And people are going to keep creating things that is, something that they are dealing with. That song ain't bad as Sexy Red talking about her booty hole brown. That song ain't as bad as Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion talking about WAP. Spin that shit. That song ain't as bad as a lot of stuff that we consume. Should it be canceled? No, because it's the reality of the world. Art imitates life. Let me play something that I'm talking too much. I can get passionate about this. But let me play Trick Daddy's response to what India Ari had to say. And then we're just going to keep the conversation going.
Again, shout out to Young Miami.
The clip ain't playing.
Again, shout out to Young Miami. Got the hottest record in the fucking world. Not just the country. The hottest record in the world. They singing it in China, in Russia, Ethiopia, goddammit. Shout out to Young Miami. One of the baddest, the finest little shit in the game right now. You bad body old bitch, not one to be giving how you feel about this young girl and her song. All the negative music that come out, you want to simply try to target a young black female that's doing something positive, that's in her bag right now. You talked about her bag when she put out certain singles. You talked about her over and over again with situations with who she was dealing with. Everything y'all get on this internet and act like y'all life is all peaches and cream. But I know you old bad breath smelling that. I know you mad. I know you is mad and you jealous. You look at that young fine girl on that stage rocking these clubs each and every night, these appearances, these hosts. She dropping her hottest single out there. Young Miami, you got not let these old ragged deter nothing you trying to do. That's why I don't fuck you old. That's why I would not one of you old bitches, because the game done passed you by. You still stuck in the motherfucking 50s and the 60s. I don't want no old, gray hairs on the pussy. Let me explain something to you. You want to be celibate and I'm celibate and I got my LLC and my credit score at 800. Stick your 800 credit score up your ass and your LLC ain't making no motherfucking money. You don't have a customer, a product to sell. All you is bullshit. Get you some money, however you do. Stop getting on here talking bad about your fellow black woman that's making money. Music ain't for everybody. If you don't like it, turn off your radio, close and cancel your subscription to all your social media sites. Get off of Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook, because as long as you on there, you gonna hear it right there. These young don't want to leave their man, they want to be happy. These young women of the day, these young men of the day do not want to be old and miserable like you for the rest of their life. They want to smoke a hookah, hit them a joint, take them a shot of Don Julio or Patron. They want to get flued out. They want to put that shit on and get real good, you dumb, ignorant bitch. On behalf of Young Miami, kiss every in Miami. If you think we give a fuck about how you feel, then go spin that.
What did I just listen to? The India Ari, she said she don't want to cancel the song. She talked about the power of our words and the things that we speak towards and give life to. She said, I can't change people's behavior and what they indulge in. This motherfucking nigga face look like a goddamn oxtail head ass nigga. Motherfucker look like an old smoked oxtail up here talking crazy as shit. Talking about Young Miami. Talking talking about Young Miami fine and all of this. Stop. Sometimes this shit gotta stop. Trick Daddy selling them fried ribs and blue Kool-Aid out his restaurant and shit. Nigga, stop. See what I'm saying? Stop. Come on, man. You know, golly. I'm fatigued. You know what? I ain't gonna say that because I love us as a people. I ain't gonna say I got black fatigue. I got ignorance fatigue. I'm fatigued with ignorance. You know, he's saying that girls want to have sex, get flued out. We can't promote flued out. That's what Diddy in jail for. The man acted 1910. You fly a girl out, that's illegal. Scamming and shit is illegal. She's promoting scamming and spinning that shit and doing. She want a scamming ass nigga with man. Stop. You can indulge in and you can consume whatever you want to. But is it right? Hell nah. I don't even know why I played that clip of Trick Daddy. That was for entertainment purposes only because wasn't nothing educational about that shit. Let me play the good Dr. Mark Lamont Hill and his response to this conversation.
No, right? It's all no. So I don't want to isolate this song like it's some uniquely problematic thing, but I do think there's a conversation to have about like, do we want to keep celebrating songs that encourage behavior?
Left that fool?
Yeah.
Damn, nigga.
See what I'm saying? Like
it's old.
Yeah.
It's old ass song.
But I think that was the point. It's like we've always been doing this, and sometimes every generation likes to act like new shit is the new music is different. And I'm saying every generation has these conversations. As I get older, though, I do think about the harm that music causes and the damage that it can cause. And so I would take the position of, yeah, maybe we shouldn't. Maybe we shouldn't what? Rock with it. Not that we shouldn't be allowed to, just that me personally, maybe I need to even be more thoughtful about.
Maybe I should.
Yeah, maybe I shouldn't. It's probably
but you never rock with it.
No, remember I was like, but then I went outside and I was like,
he came around.
And my opposition to the song was never the message of it. I was just like, this song is just like it just was like kind of.
But the frequencies from the song didn't make Mark turn to a life of boosting.
Right, but Mark is really intelligent. I think that.
True.
First of all, shout out to India.
I'm going to tell y'all something that's bigger than this conversation. Young Miami, India Irie, Trick Daddy, Mark Lamont Hill in totality before I close the show out with this conversation because this brother who is an independent YouTuber, he talks about something important. But how I want to close this out is, programming. You know, people choose what they want to choose, but you best to believe you're being programmed. You know, somebody told me, Trev, do you want to market your podcast and put a budget towards marketing? Instead of continuously creating and funding your own thing, put a budget towards marketing what you do. You know, I never really had dreams of being popular and famous and stuff like that. But the reason I'm bringing that up is because, you know, if you catch my creativity, just believe that I'm being genuine, I'm being objective, and I'm trying to give some value to the consumer. The reason I say that is because who funded Spend That Shit? Why is radio stations playing Spend That Shit? Why is it being programmed and promoted in your face? Movies, music, all types of shit. It's because, you know, it's profitable to keep people stagnant or to keep people in place. If you turn on the radio station right now, it's going to be 5 or 6 female songs talking about selling cat or they cat getting paid for, or you're going to hear the baby on there with that song. I forgot that. Make it clap, make it clap. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be a whole bunch of bullshit. It's real, though. Art imitates life. That's reality. You go to the movie theaters. Everywhere you go, you are being programmed. You can allow it to become something that you internalize, or you can view it for exactly what it is and not identify with that shit. Can't nobody control the decisions you make. That's something that you have to do. And that's how I'm going to close out that conversation. We're going to move along. You know, I'm getting to the age, I'm 46, where I'm thinking about retirement. You know, and just moving along in life without having to think about finances or just think about buying a new home, having a new car, or anything new. I'm getting to that stage in life that I just want to create, continue to do what I love, and live life. I don't want to have to clock in, create a new business, or do anything to where finances is something that I'm thinking of on a daily basis. Soon as this stuff crossed my mind, I'm starting to think that these algorithms and these computers is, you know, in sync with us in some sort of way. Let me play this video and shut up so y'all can check out the conversation.
Look, I'm not trying to tell you how to live your life or pretend I have all the answers mapped out, but I do want to let you in on a little secret about life. Something I think most of us are too distracted to notice until we actually cross the finish line into retirement. It's a massive psychological shift that is incredibly powerful, yet completely overlooked by the mainstream world. And honestly, it took me nearly 3 years of being retired to fully connect the dots and grasp just how important it is. Now, my name is Reese Will, and welcome to Retired Life with Reese Will. And for me, life really did begin at 55. Now, think about what society sells us from the time we enter the workforce. We're conditioned to believe that retirement is the prize at the end of the maze, completely defined by external activities. The brochure shows you a couple of luxury cruises, people playing endless rounds of golf, traveling the world, or finally getting around to painting that dusty spare bedroom. We buy into the idea that happiness is just waiting for us in the form of consumer goods or a packed travel itinerary. And look, don't get me wrong, all of that stuff is perfectly fine if that's what you generally want, if that's what you really want to do. But after 3 years of living this life, I realized we've been completely seduced by a massive lie. We've been brainwashed into thinking that the more we accumulate, the more wealth, the higher the status. The busier the schedule, the happier we'll be. But how wrong we've been. The single greatest gift of retirement is far simpler than money or perceived importance. And the best part about it, it doesn't cost a single penny. It's the incredibly liberating truth that you no longer have to spend your entire time on this earth surrounded by people you don't actually like. When you really break it down, the vast majority of our adult life are spent trapped inside giant institutional systems that force human interaction on us, whether we want it or not. Think about the sheer volume of energy that gets chewed up with the fake smiles and the daily grind of survival. Think about the people who manage to completely drain your mental battery before you even had a chance to finish your first morning coffee.
I gotta stop it right there. I'm gonna let him continue on, but I gotta stop it right there. That's the main thing that I hate about working. 99.9% of everybody I ever worked with, I wouldn't have spoke to you in the real world. You know, because we don't align in our thinking. I'm forced to be here. I don't even think that human beings were created to work in the first place. I feel like the amount of work that we do here in America is unhealthy. It's a lot of people that come from other countries and they want to live the American dream, they have a perception that this is so sweet over there. Let me get over there and come up, and then I'm gonna go back home and bring my money back home with me. They get over here and be like, God damn, I'm tired. Bitch, I don't work 60 hours a week. I can't take it. When does it end? In certain countries, they work 8 months out the year, and they off 4 months. They have 6-hour work weeks, and they off for 3 or 4 days. Here, it's never ending. Day, night. The backbone of the country is on the night shift. People be like, why you ain't sleep at 10 p.m.? Man, the whole world still is rotating. The country is still being ran on the night shift. It's a lot of people out. It's a lot of people that live at night. This brother got a point. I'm going to let him continue on cooking. But before I let him cook, I want to say this. Those things that he talked about, cruises, endless golf, and living life, you should live life and create a route for you to have experiences before you retire, so you can know what you want. Knowledge of self, to me, is the most powerful tool for any human being outside of the Bible. Because when you know who you are, you know what you will and what you won't accept. Let's go.
It's a slow burning, chronic kind of stress at its absolute worst. It slowly tears away your mental being. A huge percentage of modern adult life is built entirely around tolerating people. You spend decades being polite to individuals you would never voluntarily invite into your personal life. People that gossip, people who are toxic, or people who literally just make noise because the sound of silence, terrifies them. You're forced to deal with attention seekers, chronic complainers, and people who are just plain unpleasant to be around. And you sit there in those office chairs or break rooms day after day, sorting to yourself and thinking, if I didn't work for this company, I wouldn't spend 5 minutes in your presence. But you swallow it because you have to pay bills, you got a mortgage, and kids need clothes, uniforms. You compromise your internal peace for physical survival. For most of the world, that's the adulthood. Reclaiming your time and peace. Retirement completely breaks that cycle. But it doesn't happen the moment you retire or the moment they give you that gold watch. It can actually take a long time to shake off those deeply ingrained habits of the corporate compliance. But when the penny finally drops, it hits you like a tidal wave. Your time belongs entirely to you again, not to an organization, not to a boss, not to a shift roster or endless calendar or performance review. You wake up in the morning and there isn't a single soul on the planet assessing your value or demanding that you prove yourself. Nobody is telling you that you need to be a better team player to be considered an effective human being. No more arbitrary targets and absolutely no mandatory team building exercises, no more forced fun, and no more pretending. This is exactly where the concept of solitude comes into play. And it's something society completely misunderstands. When the average person hears the word solitude, their mind immediately jumps to loneliness or sadness. But solitude and loneliness are entirely different animals. Loneliness is a painful, isolating condition, and solitude, on the other hand, is an active choice to prioritize peace over useless noise.
I'm going to let I ain't going to play no more of that. We're going to end the podcast on this. That was interesting to me because, the loneliness piece was interesting because right now we have something that the world has created called the male loneliness epidemic. And I really don't believe in that. I believe those people who are lonely just haven't found out who they are yet. And the reason they haven't found out who they are yet is because they want acceptance from others, so they condition themselves to be pleasing to others. I didn't join the work world till I was 33 years old, and I feel like I'm blessed based upon that, even though I have had late results to success in life, you know, to achieve certain things in life, to become a homeowner, to become a husband. I was 41. To become a homeowner, I was 40 years old. You know, things came later on in life because I come from a background of hustling and stuff like that. But those years hustling, it let me know who I was. What I'm trying to say is that I want people to, you know, figure out who you are so you will know what you will and what you won't accept. And, you know, live now. Remove certain habits and certain beliefs. I know my value before I came into a job. Remove those wants from your ideology, because all you're doing is creating debt and creating more responsibility that you will have to work forever. When you go buy that home, you agree to that 30-year loan. When you go buy that new car, you agree to that 6-year loan. You know, and then you create a repetition of needing to be somewhere. Life is good, man. And you should be able to enjoy your solitude in your life before you retire. I appreciate everybody tuning in to my show. I know it was a short show today, but go out and live your life. Have a great, 4th of July weekend. I highly appreciate y'all, man. Peace, love, plenty of abundance. Make sure you go get you some money, and I'm gone. Chill.
The Trevor Jackson Podcast. The Trevor Jackson Podcast.